Hi guys. um, it really is Thursday today. Yeah, I had a couple of appointments last week. I thought I'd be really clever and pre-record some because I knew I would be really pressed for time. And then I got them mixed up and put Sundays on Thursday night and Thursdays on Sunday night. But it really is Thursday. And yeah, thank you for joining me. My name is Jill Lancet. And yeah, let's get going. Look, I just want to remind you there is this great 15% off in colour products. If you're in Australia, whiz over to my online store. All the details will be there. It goes through to the end of the month. You've got plenty of time. No rash purchases. Sit down, have a cup of tea or whatever and work out what you want. And yeah, pop your order in before the 31st of August and you'll get those in due course. All the terms and conditions are on there as well. So yep, have a look at that, guys. Now I'm going to make another Christmas card. The way this was going to be was yeah, Thursdays was going to be a Christmas card. Sundays was going to be the sympathy card. And then tonight's was going to be another Christmas card. But, you know, buggered that up, didn't I? As per usual. What else is new, guys? Okay, so I've got a card for us tonight. I saw something similar on Pinterest. It was a bit of a different orientation. And I just thought I'd twerk it a bit. So I've got a few stamps here. I'm using stamps from two sets tonight. Long Time No See, which is the cutest little stamp set. And a little cheer. We're only using one from a little cheer, and that is that stamp there. I'm going to go through the measurements, etc. I will put all of that in the description below. So don't fear, okay? But I have all the bits and pieces here. So we need half of your standard card sheet. In Australia, that is A4. We're going to make a tent fold card, just like that, okay? We are going to give it some scoring or special measurements, not your normal tent fold. So we'll look at that in a minute. I've got 3 pieces of shaded spruce, crikey. Now, you know what your standard card base is, whatever country you're in, so I don't need to go through that. If you'd like a copy of our matte templates, which I have right here, email me at tilly2145@gmail.com. I'll send you this sheet, but I need an email address. It's free, no strings attached, but it gives you all the common sizes, etc., and it gives you some great mats for making cards. So our first piece of shaded spruce is 13.85, which is the equivalent to mat 2 in this way, but we are 7 centimeters this way. In the US, it is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. Again, I will have it all down in the description below. Then I have 2 pieces of the same shaded spruce, and they are 6.5 centimeters by 7 centimeters. So they're the same width if they were cut from the same piece. Or 2 5/8, crikey, 2 5/8 of an inch by 2 3/4. Okay, that is your US size. We need 3 pieces, crikey, I can't even count anymore. 1 piece of basic white, and it is 12.85, which just happens to be the same length as mat 4. So 12.85 by 6 centimeters, or 5 inches by 2 1/2. We have another 2 pieces of basic white, and they are 5.5 by 6 centimetres, or 2 3/8 by 2.5. Okay. We also have a couple of scraps. Now, I have made these scraps to the size of the stamp that I need. Okay, so a piece of shaded spruce, which is 2.9 centimetres, so not quite 3 centimetres, by 6 centimetres, or 1 1/8 by 2 5/16. Very specific. And a piece of basic white, which is 2.4 by 5.5, or 15/16. Oh, wait a minute. Is it 15/16? Hang on, let me check. Let me double check. It is 15/16, so not quite an inch, by 2 1/8. Oh, sorry, drop that. I will have it all down there in the description, okay? So we've got all this stuff here. Now, I want to start, first of all, with the scoring. So let's just pop all of this stuff up here out of the way. So you'll need either your scoreboard or your paper trimmer. And we're going to score it at 7.4 centimetres and then 14.85, or 2 3/4 inches, and then again at 5.5, if you are using the US sizes. Okay, the imperial measurements are for a different sized card. Okay, so they are not interchangeable, but we are in Australia and I'm using an A4, so I'm going to go ahead and score this at 7.4, and I hope this is correct. I'm pretty sure it is, but look, if it's a little bit out, what do we say? We say a blind man would like to see that. So I'm scoring that at 7.4, and then I'm whizzing over to 14.85, which is our standard score for a tent fold. Right, now I can pop that down there out of the way, and we'll just get this party started. So I'm just going to fold that over. Now, I don't know whether this is the correct way to do this. Now, it's scored, but it may be out a little bit. What I do is I start it in the centre, and I go out one way and then out the other way. Now, if you start at one side, by my way of thinking, you might be encouraging that to be incorrect. But if you start in the middle and go that way and go that way, then I'm thinking that will be straight. So we've got this tent fold. It's going to be opening like this, and we're going to fold this piece back here now. And I was going to say with a bit of luck, but I'm going to call it a stroke of genius. I actually got the measurements right. So I'm going to score that again, just like that. Now, normally you'd have a card opening like that, but we're flipping this on its head. We're going this way. So what I want to do is I want to do a little tiny bit of stamping, and I'm using a little tiny stamp. So this is the gorgeous snowflake. And I'm using some real red, and I'm just going to go randomly all over this piece of cardstock. Now, hold your horses, honey, while I just get some scrap paper. Oh, my goodness me. Right. Got a bit of scrap paper here now. Oh, look what I'm doing. I'm messing up my whole desk. Oh, okay, so I've got some real red here. This is not wanting to lay flat now. I'm just going to just randomly stamp this snowflake all over this. Half of it you won't see, but you know, half of it you will see. So, yeah, just make it good. And, yep, because this will be covered by one of these. So, yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to continue all the way across. And, yeah, just random. Again, it's going to be covered. So it's just going to add a little bit of interest to, yeah, this card. And I'm continuing all over the opening part of the card. So, yep. I just added this. In my mind, I just thought, you know what, I think this card needs something. So I just quickly went through and found this little snowflake stamp, and I thought this will do. And again, you won't see half of this, so yeah, but you will see that one. Let's see if we can do it again. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Now, if you want to write a big message, I would suggest that you go ahead and stamp this back panel and put a piece of basic white on this panel. I'm not going to do that because I didn't think far enough to cut one out, if you know what I mean. But anyway, yeah, you'll see. So there we go. I wouldn't go over there if you didn't have to, but yeah. Okay, I think that's probably enough. You get the point, right? So we've got this beautiful little opening card. What is that called? Is that called a Z card? I don't know. But look, anyway, that's that. Now, I'm going to pop that away. The only other ink in this whole scenario is the Memento Black. I'm going to put that over here because now we're going to do something with the white pieces, the basic white pieces. Now, I gave you the measurements, but what I didn't tell you was that I've actually popped a little mark from the bottom up, and it's 1.5 centimetres or 5/8 of an inch. Now, what I want to do is I just want to have that little mark on all of them, okay? So you can see that if I lay them side by side, that mark is uniform all the way across. And that's going to be important in helping us to line up our little stamp, our little doggy. Now, bear with me for a sec. Hang on. Right. So here's our little sausage dog. We call them sausage dogs in Australia, or dachshunds. And you also get this very long extension piece. So here's my little doggy. Here's my very long extension piece. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. So our little doggy is going to go on our first piece. Now make sure you have it the right way up. That's why I laid them all out and put the pencil mark where I wanted them, so that I didn't get this accidentally mixed up, because the sizing is very, very close, okay? So that is very important. And what I'm going to do in the tuxedo black is I'm going to ink up our little puppy dog, giving him a really, really good ink up. And I'm going to line up the bottom where his tummy is with that line. Now I just need to make sure that I've got enough room for everything there. And I'm going to stamp down. Now hopefully I have stamped that onto the mark. Now, it's a bit tricky when you're sitting over here and the stamp's over there, if you know what I mean. Spot on. I got it spot on. Look at that. How brilliant is that? Now, the next thing I need to do is to clean this stamp really, really well. Okay. I need to really give it a good clean. And we're going to do something with it in just a second. I'm going to let that dry. Now, with my extension piece, I'm going to ink this up. Now, I don't need all of it. I just need a section of it. And I'm going to line it up with those two marks. Okay. But I want to go off the edges. Now, let me just do another little bit just in case. Okay. Right. Hold your horses, honey. Now, I can sort of see the marks. I can see them there. I can see them there. And, yep. At least I hope I can see them. Yep, I can see them. Look, if this is like a millimetre out, you know what? The world won't stop turning, okay? So I'm giving that a nice, good press down. Look at that. How cute is that? Now, with this one here, I'm going to clean this one because we need them to be really clean, just so we don't make a false mark on this. So I'm just giving that a clean. We'll give that a second to dry. And what I want to do is I want to do his little back end. So I may need a piece of scrap paper. Just bear with me for 2 seconds while I find a piece. You would think I would have some at the ready, wouldn't you? And what I need to do is I need to put his little back end in line with those lines, but cover up his front end, if you know what I mean. So I can see my lines, but they don't extend. So I'm going to draw a little line. Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. I'm just going to very lightly just draw a little line. You probably can't even see it, but I can see it there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a piece of paper over here, just so, oh, that's not a very good piece. Hang on. Hold on. You do know I've got like a drawer full of scrap paper, don't you? And I can never find it when I want it. Okay. So what I want to do is I just want to ink up from about there down, okay? So I hope you can see this. So I can see my little line there, and I want to line that up like that. I want his bottom and his tail to go in there. And then we'll do some extension stamping. So I need to figure out where the line is. I need to figure out where his tail is. And I need to give this a good old go. So just bear with me. There it is right there. Fingers crossed, all the rest of it. Okay. So giving that a nice bit of a stamp. Look. Now I can clean this. Pop this out of the way because we don't need this anymore. And I'm going to bring back my little extension piece. So now I want to ink this up again and line it up. Line it up. I'm just thinking that I'm hoping I'm in camera, guys. Look, I'm all over the place today. We went out for lunch, not a liquid lunch, but you know, you might be excused for thinking that. And yeah, we had a concert and lunch today. So that was really, really lovely. So I'm going to line that up there, line it up there, and I'll worry about that extra line when I get to it. So there we go. Don't worry about that. We will sort that out in a minute, okay? So I'll give that a clean. And then we're going to colour. That's why I sort of had everything done, guys, because I knew I'd be colouring. So I've got a couple of different colours here. I've got the light and the dark real red, the light and the dark shaded spruce. Why do I never can think of those names? And I've got two of the neutrals, two of the really cute neutrals. And we'll do that in a minute. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just going to colour his face and his... oh, I still have a bit of a weak hand, guys. Is this the light one or is this the light one? Hang on. Hang on. Yep, okay. So I'm just going to colour in him. And then I'm going to go over it with a bit of dark where there would be shadow. Look, this doesn't even have to be realistic. At the end of the day, it's just a cute little card. So just bear with me. I just think it's so cute. There he is, look at that. And his little foot. And of course, his tail. We need his tail to be coloured. You know, using the blends is really so easy. And compared to other alcohol markers, these are not all that much difference in price. So, and you're guaranteed to match the Stampin' Up! Products. So, well, as much as a light and a dark can. Now, I'm just going to do a little bit of shading with the darker one. Not a lot. I'm just going to do a bit of shading. Just like that. Maybe a little bit down there. And hopefully that will blend in a minute. Just a little bit down there. I'm really only just drawing lines. Yeah. So now I go over it with the lighter one again. Just over the whole lot. And they will blend together. Soften the lines. They look really cute. What a cute little doggy. I love little dogs. I've got a little dog. I got a little dog. Her name's Sophie. And she is cute. She is the cutest dog in the world. I should have called her Shadow because she's normally not more than about 4 feet away from me. There we go. Look, that's done. Now, I wanted to just do alternate green and red. So let's just line these up. This will be very, very quick colouring, guys. Let me see. I think we'll do this part next to him in the light. We'll do a little bit of green. Oh, that's too thick. And yeah, we'll just continue on. So I'm going to do all the green while I've got the green out. Okay, so I'll do the dark down there. I'll do the dark down there. And I'll just, oh, crikey. Yeah, my hand is still a bit weak, guys. Now this colouring, look, as I said, it does not have to be perfect. It's a whimsical picture. I think I'll go the little one. I think I need some new ones of these. There's some I use a lot. And yeah. So now, this is the next bit that's going to go on there. So I want that kind of green, okay? So we'll pop that in there like that. We'll put a little bit of the dark. I think I'll just leave the lids off. What do you reckon? Just put a little bit of dark there. A little bit of dark there. A little bit of dark there. Now, they do bleed through, guys. So either protect your desk or don't do this straight onto a card front. Yeah. Okay, let's just finish this. Look, fast forward this. If this is not your cup of tea, yeah, fast forward it by all means, guys. I find colouring quite relaxing. I've had a bit of a week, I can tell you. Another one. But the concert was lovely today. I don't even know who they were. So, you know, they were not known to me, but yeah. But they were good. You should look into your local RSL club or whatever and see if they have any live music happening. We've got to keep our live music artists alive and well, or we won't have any. We'll have all AI. You know what's happening with the world with AI. Right, now I'm going to do the others. So I'm going to miss that one, and I'm going to do this one. Look, I'm a bit pedantic when it comes to things like this, okay? Now, he's just having a striped scarf or coat or whatever you want to call it. Now, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to, if I can find if my Sharpie is working. Nope. Not that one, this one. Let me see if I can get this going, guys. Yeah. Oops. So I just wanted to continue that line down there. Just like that. There we go. And nobody needs to know that we just drew that in there. So this would be green. This would be green. And I'm just going to finish these up now, so just bear with me. And look, I am trying to speed this up a little bit, so may not be the most perfect colouring you've ever seen, but it is a handmade card. I have no music today. I know a lot of people apparently don't like music playing in the background. So one day you might get music, one day you might not. So I guess it's going to be the luck of the draw. Got to please everybody, haven't I? There we go. Nearly, guys, nearly finished. that pen, that pen was a water-based one. Like, if that was a Sharpie, it would run with the alcohol pen. So, yeah, that's why I put the Sharpie back. But if you are, you know, fixing up a little bit with your Sharpie, after they've dried is perfectly fine. That's that. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the real red. Hang on. And I'm using the light real red. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. Oh, I like to do the dark. I like to do the dark on the bottom. Oh, let's do little ones. That's a bit. Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. Right. Let's try this. Pretty much of a muchness, these two, to be honest. Maybe we should go a little light cherry cobbler for the darker one. Let's see. Oh, I just went straight into the green. Look at that. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that contrast looks a lot better. So I've used the light cherry cobbler on the bottom for the shading. Okay, I'll just go through and do all of those. Probably could have done the dark, but it doesn't matter. Look, this card is very, very quick, with the exception of the colouring, I guess. But, you know, if you like colouring, it's not a chore. When you're doing this, just make sure you go over where the two colours meet. Well, actually go over the whole lot, because it does knock the darker one back a bit, and it does blend them. We're going to put this all together in a minute, and it'll probably make a bit more sense then. Okay, just bear with me. Progress report on my hand. Went and saw the doctor last Thursday. Not today, last Thursday. And he's quite pleased. I may or may not have some permanent nerve damage in some of the nerves. But I did have severe carpal tunnel, and I did have it for apparently for a fair while. So that's what happens if you don't treat it straight away, guys. But, you know, I'm pleased. I can sleep with it at night now. And, yeah, it's not... Oh, crikey. Look at that. See, I can't talk and colour at the same time. I can show you what you can do. I don't know if it'll do it on red. Reds are notoriously hard colours to fix. You know, they stain your stamps and all sorts of things, but I'll show you what you can do if you really, really wanted to have a go at fixing that. And look, just remember this is a handmade card, so handmade cards, handmade anything, have human imperfections. They're passed on to the item because they're made by a human hand. We've got one more little green bit and we're done. We're done, guys. Okay, let's have a look. Where's the light one? And then I'll show you how to fix some of these if you really wanted them to be fixed. Now, we have this colourless colour lifter. Now, you can colour over colours to make them a bit lighter, or you can actually do this. Now, this one is really quite juicy. So, in order to sort of fix this mistake, I'm going to basically start from away from it and push towards it. Push towards it. This is like alcohol. So I'm going to push towards it. Now, you will see that it does make it a bit lighter. It's probably not going to completely get rid of it, but, you know, if you really are worried about it, and there's a little bit of green there. Can you see that? Where it's starting to lighten that up. So I'm going to do the same thing with the green. Just pushing it back towards the colour. I think, you know what, I'm not going to worry too much about anything else, if it's good, bad or ugly. Let's get this card done. Right, now, on our little scrap of paper, I've got a couple of stamps that I'm going to put on. Hang on. I've got our Merry Christmas, and I want that in black. That's going on this little piece here. This is our little scrap. Now, it's got two sides. If you mess it up, please don't let me mess it up. Yeah, it should just fit on there. So, yeah. Now, look, my head's not right over the top of this, so bear with me, okay? You ready? Hope it's straight. Looks all right. Looks all right from here, but, you know, now you shouldn't rock your stamp. I think I just rocked that, but let's have a look. Beautiful. That is going onto our little strip of the shaded spruce. Now, I'll glue that on before I do anything else. Okay. So I'm going to glue this on. And then we'll put this thing together. Okay. So there's a nice little border all the way around from those measurements. Okay, did I just bump the camera? Sorry, guys, if I did. Okay, so we've got that. Now, you can see that's slowly drying. I have two pieces of the shaded spruce. Our little puppy dog is going on one. Oops, that was lucky. Okay, just like that. What a cute little doggy. This one is going on this one. Oh, I forgot to do some stamping. Hang on, I forgot. That's okay, I can still do it. I've got these two, I've got Long Time No See, and I just thought it'd be cute to, yeah, You know, sometimes when you only see people at Christmas or you don't see them, but you still send them a Christmas card. I just thought this would be a nice, cute little message to send to in that particular case. So I'm just inking that up. I'm going to give that a bit of a test run. Let me see. It's quite heavy, that text. But anyway, I'm going to pop it under his belly on this piece over here. Now, it fits in. Let me just get my head over the top. I hope that's straight. Crikey, guys. Let's have a look. If I bugger this up now, gorgeous. I was going to say, if I bugger this up now, I'll be very upset. Let me just clean that. My nose is starting to block up. It does that later in the, like in the early evening, late in the afternoon. And I've got long time. Let's try this one. Good, that's good. He is going on here. You might be wondering why I'm not putting it on there, but all will be revealed. Let's have a look. Long time no see. Crikey, I hope that's straight. Duh. Okay, that's going on our shaded spruce one. Just hang on and we'll get there. Right, let's have a look. Nice little border. It will be the same as the others. I don't want to smudge that. Let's bring our card base back now and we'll pop this all together. I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, okay? So what I want to do is I want to have it but not right in the middle. So I think if I put the big one on first where I want it, I'll be able to determine the rest of them, I think. So just a bit of liquid glue or whatever you like to use. Now there's a really nice border and I'm putting it, as I said, I'm putting it down below center, okay? Just like that. Then I'm going to pop this one in the middle. Now I saw something like this on Pinterest, but as I said, I tweaked it a little bit. Now this is where you can get your T rule out and make sure that that's kind of straight. Looks reasonably straight to me. And then finally, our little puppy's head. Right. Naturally, there's glue oozing out there. And now we can pop our sentiment. I was just going to say, what did I do with it? Here it is here. But what I want to do is I want to only glue it onto this half, okay? So here's a tip. Flip it over, line it up where you want it. And I kind of want it halfway between here and halfway between there. And then either put your glue tape or your glue only as far as you want it to go. Okay, and then you can just flip it back over and you'll know that you don't have glue coming out everywhere. I think that was a Connie Stewart tip that I've filed somewhere in the back of my mind. Look at that! Merry Christmas! Long time no see. Guys, what do you think about that? We've got plenty of space here to pop mat 1 in basic white. You could put another greeting on there if you wanted to, or just leave it so that you could write it. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. I think that is so, so cute. What do you reckon? Oh gosh, 45 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I should have probably done half of the colouring. But look, you know, you could always put gems where you've messed up. I didn't really want to put any gems on that. I thought this guy's bright enough. I showed this in my drawing to my husband, and I'd roughly coloured it in with red and green, and he said, "Oh, is this for a South Sydney supporter? If you're not from Australia or New South Wales, South Sydney Rugby League's club is red and green." And I said, no, it's a Christmas card. I think that's so, so cute. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Yeah, I mean, you could do these in production, stamp them all up, have them set up on your stamp platform if you can work out how to do that. I think that is the cutest little sausage dog I've ever seen. And yeah, Merry Christmas, long time no see. Thank you, guys. Jill Lancet, like, subscribe, share. I would be so grateful. Thanks very much. If you want a copy of the matte templates, which are these ones here, please email me at tilly2145@gmail.com. I will send them back to you, but I must have an email address. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to leave you with that. And I think that little, what do you call that, little snowflake detail is subtle, but just enough. I possibly could have put a few on here, but this is the way I see it. And that's how it is. Thank you, guys. I'll see you all on Sunday. Take care. Bye for now. Hooray.